News 10 Genevieve Grippo spoke with the class instructor about his inspirational story of recovery and how yoga helped him through it all. It's tonight's News 10 Weekend Top Story at 11.
This is not your typical yoga class, not just because of a few four-legged guests, but because of the instructor, Drew Aversa.
So we're gonna breathe in, arms up.
Instructing yoga is not a place the SOU grad ever saw himself. Aversa started his working life as a California firefighter until a traumatic injury confined him to a wheelchair. He looked for a road to recovery that did not include pills or surgery. That's when he came face to face with yoga.
When you feel like you want to give up, keep pushing.
Now his aim has shifted from fighting fires to fighting the stigma against yoga, especially in men.
And I wish that they could just find yoga and get rid of ego, get rid of whatever stigma they have attached.
In the long run, Drew says he wants to see a change in how injuries, both physical and mental, are treated in first responders, and alternative treatments like yoga covered under healthcare plans.
Sacramento, how are we doing today? Good? Yeah. What I want to have in this day is a conversation. This is why I love this quote, "My awakening. Tell me what it is you want to do with your one wild and precious life." Every single one of you in this room has that, all that we know of, one wild and precious life. But this state right now that we're in, we get one that we know of. So I went down to start healing. I wanted to open up my mind. I wanted to start seeing different things. Because my fire service brothers, sisters, my identity, gone, erased. Changes in 1 second. You get cancer, a heart attack, life changes in 1 second. It's not a month, it's not a year, it's a second. That picture of Belize, I nearly died after that. I had a bacterial staph infection, airlifted me to Belize City. Let's get moving, let's get moving. Because if we want to change our emotion and our state, we have to go into motion. Remember that. So if we want to change what? Emotion, you have to have what? Motion. Choose your partner, whoever you want. All right, I see like great bonding over here. It's a great conference. Firefighters are linking arms. I've never seen that in the time I've done this, so this is awesome. With your partner, one person has to guess, and the other person has to mimic your best animal. Be the craziest animal you want to be. Pick an animal out there without talking. Go. I get these guys in the back here. What's your name, brothers? Gabe? Sean. Sean and Gabe? Yeah. Was that like the Texas Longhorn Devil?
Well, I was a bull that time.
But you're not full of it, right?
No.
All right, that's good. Okay. Understand the importance in non-verbal communication. Words have only been around for so long. Before that, we did caveman stuff. So the words don't have as much meaning in the way that we carry ourselves. And when we're looking out for one another, think about how people are carrying themselves in the firehouse. If they look happy, if the body's healthy, all these other things, versus somebody who's hunched over, they're not talking at the dinner table, you know something's going on with that person. And then eventually, what happens? They use sick days, you don't know where they are. They end up in the black hole, and we have the problem that we have with fire cities today, right? And as you write that down, realize in life, we have to start asking ourselves if this is true. Is it true? Yes or no? In our culture, we eat our own. So it becomes a culture where we start getting these conditioned beliefs and these conditioned thoughts that are not true. And how many firefighters here are doing yoga? All right. How many do it with goats? All right. It's always going to be unique in life. Mind, body, spirit. It's all connected. We're one, right? So if you're helping people through your peer support models and these different things, and they start pushing back, and they're like, "Hey man, just don't call me, brother. Don't call me." What's plan B? What can we do? How many of you guys have department chaplains? How many of you guys use them? Okay. How many of you know their first names? Okay. Some departments do, some don't. Think about alternate resources when somebody's going in that spiral and they're going downhill. Get them help. How many of you guys have Uber on your phones today? Yep. Anybody do Uber Eats? Anybody order food? Uber Eats? Millennial 35 at the end of the bus. Yeah. So think about that, guys. You can have a care program in your fire station today by just clicking a button and sending a brother or sister a meal. Zero counseling recognizing my traumatic event. Zero. 23, hospital, wheelchair, no spiritual counseling, no prayer, no mental health, nada. Zero. Do you think that would have made a difference? I can tell you it would have made a difference because years later it caught up. When I was down in Costa Rica, I was nearly struck by lightning. Okay? The healer came to the village. She goes, Drew, I heard about your police thing. I heard about your fire department thing. I heard about all this stuff. She goes, when are you going to wake up? When are you going to realize it's about trusting your higher power? And when are you going to start trusting that? When I talk about the trauma and the storage of things in our body as truth, it really is. What unfinished business do you have? Okay? We work in one of the most dangerous occupations where things can change in a second. When I was 23 years old, 6 months after buying my home, my life changed in that 1 second. Pop in the door with a burst tool, boom. Rush to the hospital, you're not going to walk again. Okay, my life changed in a second. Start thinking about unfinished business because all of us have that. All of us have some sort of thing, whether it's our personal life, whether it's a family, whether it's a marriage, whether it's amends, whether it's something spiritual between you and your Creator. Are you comfortable with where you'll end up? That is the most important question to ask yourself in life. After all the things I've been through, that's it. It's not about the fire department. It's not about this. It's not about that. We're all going to have an expiration date. So are you good where you're at today? And if you're not, know that you can shift your mindset. You can shift your physiology. You can shift your emotions. You can shift anything that you want to start having the life that you want to have now. Our identity as men is comprised of duty. I'm a good husband. I'm a good fireman. I'm a good father. I have enough money to pay for my kids. I have enough money to do all these things. So when my identity was gone as fireman, that's out. When my duty is gone, I can't pay for physical therapy. I'm racking up debt on my credit card. I'm losing my house. I'm losing everything, all the external stuff other than what's in here. That's when we start going down that suicide track. First survey in the nation of 700 firefighters. NBC took this nationwide after this and conducted another survey of 7,000 firefighters. These numbers are real, and they're where we stand today. 77% of firefighters won't get help due to stigma. So hopefully you guys had a lot of takeaways, and just really honored and blessed to be here with you guys today. So thank you very much. Your brain, tap this. That's your logic. It knows what's going on. Tap right here, top of your brain. Okay, what do we do in the fire department? We change smoke detectors, right? Okay, so this right here is what? This is called your amygdala. It's your smoke alarm. It's your fire alarm inside the brain. It's the thing that gets you going at 3 in the morning. It's when the mind isn't working, right? These two pieces here, they don't sync up. Complex PTSD, it's really solved when we deal with the thing under the thing. So the calls are terrible, but if we have a base that is fragile and a facade that we're heroes and we're the tough guy, and that base is not taken care of or nurtured, then things crumble as we stack on more calls, as we see more things, as we see the worst of society, and then we can't figure out what to do in life. So know this, because there may be brothers and sisters in your apartment that have complex post-traumatic stress, and they require the utmost support. They don't require the bullying at that time. They've already had enough trauma in childhood to last them a lifetime. And their goal is to figure out how to unravel all that to make sense of the world. So the more adverse childhood exposures to trauma we have, the higher our chances, again, suicide, depression, comorbid illness. Understand that there's a difference between unraveling a lifetime of trauma, which takes a lot of work, versus one specific event that is horrendous, and sometimes it's a little combination of the two. Because if we don't address pre-trauma, and we just think it's this thing, and there's that thing under the thing, we don't get better. Vet your EAP providers. make sure they are trained in EMDR kind of at a minimum. If talk therapy isn't working for the member, they need another avenue for care, and they need it now. Firehouse has great meals, right? Okay, what do we serve each other a lot of times? Comfort food, high in fat, high in sugar, high in crap, okay? It's not good for the body. It's really not good for the body. I've met a lot of retired firefighters, now that I'm the young retiree, that have diabetes, okay? So we don't think about it when we're in our 20s, when we're in our 30s, because we're gonna live forever. So think about that too, of long-term, how do you want your life to go? We also know that the brain is very sensitive to sugars, to different things like that. So if we have stress, a stressful call, what do we want to do? Relationship issues, divorce rate in fire service, law enforcement, exponentially higher than general public. General public, listen to something from Billy Graham has talked about, children in our lifetime, the average person, 70% of our homes will be divorced homes. Okay? Those ACEs studies, the volatility in the home life, it perpetuates generation after generation of trauma. These are things we have to be conscious of, and if we're not, the subconscious mind runs our life. EP doesn't tell you much about the provider. So if our members of peer support, you might take some of these notes down too. Success rate and return to work rate. Those things are critical. We know who's the best knee surgeon. We know who the best back surgeon is. We don't know who the best brain guy is, the best soul guy. Where are we sending our people, and how are they getting back to work? We're here, pass the tests, all the academies, all these things. Now it just becomes a point of passing that psychological hurdle, so to speak, of getting to the next side of passing your own physical agility test of what you want for your life during these moments in time. I encourage guys, get out there, get moving, aquatic centers. Go have a peer support session somewhere and go swim. And then go talk about some stuff. But don't talk about all the stories, the war stories. Okay? Talk about where you want to move your life forward. Talk about the challenges you're having. How can you move your life forward? PTSD is also 2 levels, okay? It's anxiety when we're so focused on far out. When we can't be in the now, when we can't be in present time. PTSD is this anxiety. So we just want to make things better, we want to feel good, we want to be out here. Because we know feeling like here is shit. And then it's this other thing called depression, where we keep living in the past because I don't feel that I can ever feel better. All this bad stuff, I'm so attached to bad, I'm so attached to the negative, that going over here to nice land is way too scary. It's a journey. So we go through, we learn more things, we read books, we get handouts, we get all these different things. If we're not allowing time to process, we're not allowing time for growth.